is Yuan Bingyan getting ready for her rebound? After the greater part of a year, the self-representation was on the hot pursuit, and it was uncovered that there will be an airborne show in April and May. The greater part of a year has passed since Yuan Bingyan's tax avoidance outrage. Around then, she was fined in excess of 970,000 yuan, and afterward her work halted totally. For the greater part of a year, Yuan Bingyan wouldn't even play with the possibility of showing up before general society. When she showed her face or had any aggravations, netizens would reprove her and agree that she could never return. As of late, the state has stringently examined and corrected the tax collection circumstance. Each resident in China is obliged to cover charges, not to mention entertainers who procure a huge number of dollars for a film. They should set a model and set a model. The nation isn't following which entertainer can't deal with it, yet with tax avoidance and tax avoidance. There are such countless illustrations learned in media outlets, and Yuan Bingyan isn't the first. On the off chance that she can get back in the saddle, then the aficionados of the past specialists who were rebuffed ought to have their perspectives. Yet, one thing is fortunate for Yuan Bingyan, or at least, her Weibo account was not impeded. She actually has the option to post for her own, dissimilar to the past Deng Lun, whose record was hindered around then, and she didn't get an opportunity to talk. No, along these lines, Yuan Bingyan's circumstances by all accounts a lot milder than those of the past ones. As a matter of fact, toward the finish of last year, Yuan Century made a special case and let Yuan Bingyan appear. Along with different craftsmen in the organization, they sent New Year favors to everybody. In other words, the supervisor of Yuan Century didn't mean to surrender Yuan Bingyan. All things considered, Yuan Century had the best advancement previously. The entertainer is Yuan Bingyan. On Walk 8, Ladies' Day, Yuan Bingyan transferred her selfie without precedent for the greater part of a year, offering her regular routine to fans and companions. In a brief time frame, her post got a huge number of preferences. It very well may be seen that fans have been sitting tight during the current day for quite a while. It isn't so much that Yuan Bingyan has not posted on Weibo after the unrest, however she has never shown her face. This time, besides the fact that selfies are right there, yet additionally photographs of her moving, including different view photographs out and about. She has let everybody know that she has carry on with a decent life. In spite of the fact that her acting profession has been suspended, Yuan Bingyan actually carries on with a satisfying life, and she is as yet self-trained in working on herself, continuously getting back in the game. I couldn't say whether everybody is excessively delicate to the word terrible craftsman, or on the other hand on the off chance that there are such a large number of individuals who focus on Yuan Bingyan. When this Weibo was posted, it immediately turned into a hot inquiry. It is entirely ominous for Yuan Bingyan to be on the hot pursuit at this point. During the two meetings, terrible craftsman, consider it, many individuals are extremely astonished that Yuan Bingyan is still on a hot inquiry, and they are scrutinizing the hard foundation of her behind the stage. Furthermore, there are likewise tales that Yuan Bingyan will airborne a play in April and May. It isn't Falling Blossoms Meet You Once More, which has been trying things out previously, yet Charmin King Hu & Co worked with Zhang Hanlian. Yuan Bingyan might be from now we need to plan for the resumption of work bit by bit. Generally the work will truly airborne, and the crowd will be unable to acknowledge it for some time. During the mid-pre-winter celebration last year, the authority Weibo of King Cheng Yi King Hu likewise posted a two-fold banner of Zhang Hanlian and Yuan Bingyan. Around then, it was something like 2 months since Yuan Bingyan sidestepped charges, yet clearly the work didn't eliminate her. As a matter of fact, around then numerous netizens comprehend that Yuan Bingyan might have simply been deceived by the organization. She, at the end of the day, didn't take part in that frame of mind of assessment cash, which is because of the carelessness of the staff. Despite the fact that it is everybody's liability to take action against terrible craftsmen, but since one individual commits an error, the entire show will be assumed control over, which is to be sure very uncalled for to other group individuals, and it is outside the realm of possibilities for the entertainers in a similar team to anticipate ahead of time which craftsman will commit an error. In any case, eventually, she needs to guiltlessly lie. As the courageous woman, Yuan Bingyan should play the most parts, and it is much more ridiculous to track down somebody to reshoot. Subsequently, there are likewise extraordinary dangers in picking an accomplice for an entertainer later on. A few fans brought up that in regards to the episode of Yuan Bingyan, the principal media that sent it plainly expressed that it ought to be deducted, however not deducted, yet after it was delivered and re-altered ordinarily, it likewise purposely incorporated the passage of TSALS, and afterward the whole organization promoting account toward the start, tax avoidance was conveyed, which set off a cyberbullying, which implied that the other party was intentionally attempting to rebuff Yuan Bingyan all along. Yet, the facts confirm that she committed an error, and she ought to follow through on the comparing cost for her activities. In any case, as long as a record isn't hindered, Yuan Bingyan can show her face like Fan Bingbing. Perhaps the street ahead will be troublesome, yet basically she actually has a voice in the event that the work can be effectively communicated, it will be perfect. Do you uphold Yuan Bingyan's rebound? 02. With Liu Xueyi's facial elements and acting abilities, would you like to play a mermaid? Cheng Yi involved the job of Si Feng to insult cynics. Incidentally, I drops her my greatest misconception of her. Simply light cosmetics can make the entire crowd alike. As far as jobs, I should likewise believe that my own specialist should show up in the job, hence, the principal possibility for the courageous woman Chu Zuanji around then was Huanru's craftsman Wang Yi. In any case, subsequent to thinking about that Wang Yi's past jobs were all immaterial supporting jobs, the chief needed to track down an entertainer with great acting abilities and prevalence, so after a few layers of screening, he at last put his focus on Yuan Bingyan's body. In spite of the fact that she is additionally not well known, however, the young lady who played in the old Nine, in any event, remaining with Zhao Liang and Chen Weiding is very astonishing, so regardless of as far as acting abilities or fame, she should be more appropriate than Wang Yi. Furthermore, Yuan Bingyan presumably could never have thought in this life that the person she got could make her a moment hit. Chu Zuanji, who she played in the play, behaved like a guiltless young lady in each move, however she gradually, after the darkening, the eyes of the blameless young lady toward the start changed, and she straightforwardly turned into a cheeky female lord of war. With that sovereign-like personality combined with major areas of strength for very power, Chu Zuanji, who is overflowing with air, can be impeccably shown without the requirement for weighty cosmetics. My number one lord of war bow power. I ask the chiefs to surrender their fixation on the winged serpent facial hair and bangs. Is it true or not that he is extreme without bangs? He is a man of his word with a feeling of interminability. He isn't anxious about awful miscreants, yet he fears attractive bad guys. Toward the start, he truly played the forbearance personality of divine beings and what is set up. Full stop. While shooting Liu Li, the chief straightforwardly tracked down Liu Xueyi, a craftsman under his own flag, to assume the subsequent male part in the play. Communicated that he needed to play a mermaid, all things considered, a job like this that doesn't need to stroll by any means, yet depends on others to embrace it, is just his fantasy job. Either embracing or being carried on the back. In any case, I have never strolled, and I'm similar to an elderly person consistently, however who can say for sure that after the tryout, assuming Liu Xueyi's facial highlights and acting abilities, on the off chance that he doesn't play the jumpy 3 domains, it will not be anything. It was a pity, so with a 3-inch tongue, he at long last prevailed with regards to making Liu Xueyi dutiful. However, who can say for sure that Liu Xueyi never believed that he, the antagonist of the sovereign Dio, could get away from a web bombarding with his attractive features and sand figures. The right shape and exquisite attire are basically similar to the provocative and abstinent characters in the book. Regardless of whether he have a mythical beast facial hair growth and bangs, he demands showing his comeliness to the limit with his glorious facial highlights. Be that as it may, how enchanting the pixie Bolin head can be in the play, so Liu Xueyi can be essentially as sandy as a sand form outside the play. Simply ask such an entertainer who is sandy and has no weight, when will he dispose of the supporting job proficient and see him featured in the 10,000-foot view? Where could the legend be? Who knew? Toward the starting it was a result of his eye abilities that so many crowds couldn't escape that late spring. He was not set in stone, yet with a lively appearance. This is the sissy that caused the crowd love and to feel upset. Phoenix. At the point when Cheng Yi previously got the content, in spite of the fact that he had for sure acted in numerous dramatizations, it was whenever he first met a person like Si Feng who had cruel love with the champion for 10 daily routines and 10 lives. While partaking in a theatrical presentation, I felt mediocre in light of one sentence. Try not to be an entertainer until the end of your life, you most certainly can't make it happen, so subsequent to seeing that he planned to assume the main part, Cheng Yi practically withdrew. Nonetheless, whoever needed to find Cheng Yi straightforwardly to assist him with interpreting the content after the chief found out about it, and told him truly that no one but he could assume this part. Seeing that the chief picked him so solidly, Cheng Yi I was so contacted, and with the mindset that on the off chance that I don't show what me can do, I will constantly be addressed, I began to get to know the content and character plan with all my energy. Luckily, it was the chief's emphasis on the decision. Cheng Yi, who was hit by the web toward the start, effectively insulted those questions with the job of Si Feng. The attractive and pixie-like appearance of his facial elements is essentially a pixie who is unstained with the world. The number of crowds that have been interested by his captivated eyes, regardless of whether he shoots with an indifferent expression, he is flawless. All in all, nothing remains to be said about Cheng Yi's acting abilities. The miniature demeanor all over combined with the refusal eyes, no big surprise as 10 day-to-day routines and 10 lives can torment the crowd. Simply check out Cheng Yi's areas of strength for delightful hopeless appearance. Try not to feel terrible.